Welcome, this is Ivan. We continue the tutorial for Specees and extensions for Adobe Illustrator for specifying dimensions and styles. When you select multiple objects, if you want to specify the height or width of the selection, just turn on the specify height and or width of the whole selection here. Select the object and click the generate button and it can be done. Very simple. Well, I did not mention in the last tutorial that species that treat any group as one object and will not specify the dimensions within the group. So just make sure you have ungrouped the objects if you want to have their dimensions specified. Sometimes you may need a dimension between the selected objects and the artboard. To do so, turn on Includes Artboard in Selection here to add the current artboard in the selection when making dimensions. Let's generate the dimensions. Maybe we should change the text color for better presentation. You can change the label text color here. And let's do it again. See, it's helpful to include the artboard in selections when you want to specify, for example, the margins of a layout. Well, species can also specify the radius of round corners of a rectangle. Let's make some round corners for this rectangular button. And maybe we'll make this one a bit larger in radius. Turn on specify radius of round corner here and generate the dimensions. So here's all the radius, and see you can specify them together with other types of dimensions at the same time. The bounding box in Adobe Illustrator shows the height and width of any selection. Of course, you can check them here in the property box. This height and width will not take the stroke weight into account even though you have set the stroke alignment to center or outside. That means, for example, let's set the stroke alignment to center here, increase the stroke weight, and the width and height of the square wouldn't change. The dimension is only referred according to the bounding box here. And according to the scripting documentation of Adobe Illustrator, they call it geometric bounds. On the other hand, the dimension including the stroke weight is called visual bounds. You can check the box here to make spaces to specify the dimension according to visual bounds. See, here the square now becomes 110 pixels by 110 pixels, as we have set it to align the stroke to center. So there's 5 pixels outside the bounding box on each side here. And it adds a total of 10 pixels to the dimension. Depends on what kind of layout you are making specification. For example, if the stroke is just a divider in a print layout or the die cut line on a packaging layout, the stroke weight normally will not be counted when you make specification. But if you made a layout for web or mobile, you may find visual bounds become more appropriate to specify dimensions. For example, if you export this square as a PNG file, The file would be 110 by 110 pixels instead of 100 by 100 pixels. So you find specify the dimensions with visual bounds is more suitable here. And of course, it all depends on how you make the layout. Uh, if you have a habit to set all the stroke alignment to inside, that shouldn't be any difference in geometric and visual bonds, and so you don't need to bother here. And here's one thing you have to know about this mode. If you add any effect to the object, for example, let's add the drop shadow here, and you see the visual bonds is actually includes all other visual effect of the object. The dimension may not be relevant here unless, for example, you want to export this square here and want to tell the developer or anyone else that the entire file dimension will be 140 by 140 pixels. So it can be useful when you have different purpose when you make the specification. If you want the stroke weight to be count, but not the effect, that's the way to do it. Just turn off the effect in the appearance window here, and then make the dimension. Just remember to turn the effect back on again after the dimension is made. So that's it for this tutorial. We still have a couple of things for specifying dimensions with Specees not covered yet. So see you in the next tutorial.